So we've made yet another questionable decision, maybe not such a good decision, definitely a bad decision. And we just picked up this 2000 M Roadster for $1,250. All right, before we get started, we need to thank our sponsor for today's video, and that is Grundy Insurance. Collector cars require special insurance, so don't just put them on your standard car insurance policy. If you do that, you won't have adequate coverage. And you won't have a stated value policy. Stated value means you get to decide the value of your car and not your insurance company. If something happens, they pay you that stated value and not what they think the car is worth. Companies like Grundy offer this superior coverage because they specialize only in collector cars and have since 1947. They understand your cars, and ultimately you will save money and get better protection for your car with a collector car policy. To learn more and determine if Grundy is a good fit for you, click the link down in the description. So we've made another potentially bad decision. We just bought this 2000 M Roadster and we only paid $1,250 for it. So that sounds like a good deal, right? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. It had been deserted behind a repair shop. It didn't run, it has cosmetic issues. The top was leaking, the rear window's blown out, the seats are ripped. It's a total mess. So the question is, what do you do with it and why did we buy it? The reason is because we might be able to save it, and if not, it's certainly got a lot of good parts, including that M drivetrain. That's a S52 3.2 liter, which is the same drivetrain as an M3. Which might be fun to stick in something else. So how do we find deals like this? And we do. We find a lot of deals like this. First, obviously in our position, we know a lot of people, but you know, I think most car crazies have a network of people that people know that if it's some abandoned old sports car, we might be interested. So, and there's cars like this in every town in America. You know, sometimes it's a Camry shoved behind a shop. Sometimes it's an M Roadster, and sometimes once in a great while it's a Shelby or a Corvette or a Ferrari. But this stuff exists everywhere. You got to be ready to grab it. Now, to be ready to grab it, you need to have a way to get it home, which we have our own tow truck, ramp truck type thing, so we can get it. So when you talk to somebody and you say, I have cash, I'm decisive, I have cash, I can get it out of there, I can give you cash and get it out of there Monday morning. As the old expression goes, money talks and bullshit walks. When you're buying a car like this, you have to buy for what is the worst condition. You know, it was covered in a tarp. Again, it didn't run. We couldn't even open the hood when we got it. So we didn't know what we were getting. And we told the guy it's probably only worth between $1,000 and $1,500 because it's not economically viable. There's no way you could pay somebody to put this back together and not be totally upside down. A nice one of these now runs between $15,000 and $20,000 depending on color and what few options and mileage and so forth. So the first step in a deal like this is you want to be professional. You want to act knowledgeable. So, you know, we did our research. The next step is to make sure the car has a clear title. I have so many of these cars. Oh yeah, my brother-in-law has a title, my dog ate it. This car was titled with two names. But the critical thing is if it's a husband and wife, let's say, the title can read one name and or. You need a title that has the or part in it if there's two names on it, or else you are going to have to find that second person. And at some point, sometimes they're divorced or they've passed, and that makes that even stickier. So if you can get a clear title and you can get keys on any modern car, and you might say this is not a modern car, but in the world of keys, this is a 2000, it's got a chip key, and it's expensive and a pain to make keys for these cars. Not as bad as a newer BMW or Porsche, but it's not the old go to Ace Hardware and get a key made for $3. So that's nice to have two keys, which we got with this car. The next thing I love seeing is we got a whole folder full of receipts. So why do we care? The reason is we know that the alternator was worked on 3 years ago. We know when the tires were bought. But tires were bought individually on this car, which is not the sign of a sympathetic, wealthy owner. Generally, tires are replaced at least in pairs or in entire sets. But still, we got receipts from when this car, all the way back to new. We know he bought it new. He bought it in Michigan. He moved to Florida about 20 years ago, and it's been in Florida its whole life since. So we went and got it. We got it home. The next step is nothing comes into our shop until it's been cleaned off for multiple reasons. First, I don't want to lay in somebody else's cigarette butts and dirt and gross stuff and work on something. And secondly, whatever's been living in this thing for the last 4 years, it's sat behind the shop. I don't want to live it in my shop with the rest of my cars. So we pressure washed the whole thing. I did a little bit of buffing just to see if there was any hope of the paint coming back. I mean, part of what we're doing here is figuring out, where do we go with this? Is this a parts car? Is this a budget race car? Is this a restoration project? And you have to do a certain amount of work and analysis, and you have to make a list. You have to write down that these headlights are bad and what do they cost. You have to, check the paint and see, can you get it at least to be a 10-footer? The seats are bad in this car. Well, a pair of seats on eBay is about 500 bucks, so it sounds catastrophic, but that's not going to stop us from putting this thing back together. So our next step is to try to get it running, and also we got to get it up on our lift and look underneath it. You don't want to spend 500 bucks and 15 hours getting something running and put it up on the lift afterwards and say, oh, the subframe's cracked or it's rusted in half. So there's kind of a system that it takes to put one of these back together. And we've been doing it for over 40 years. So no matter what we do with this car, whether we save it or part it, it's worth knowing, does the drivetrain run? Does it knock? Does it rattle? Is it good? So we want to get this thing up on a lift and figure out what it's going to take to get it running again. And that will take a certain amount of investment. It's probably going to take at least a few $100s worth of parts and a few hours, but we love doing this. So yeah, our next step will be to get it up on a lift, look it over a little better, make a list of its needs, match that list with the receipts to see how much of this stuff has probably been done already, and make a go, no-go decision. And generally, we've been sniffing paint too long, but we generally make a go decision when we shouldn't here. So if you're like us and like crazy cars and bad decisions, please like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll get this up on a lift and get started and see if this is going to end up as an engine on a pallet for sale on Facebook Marketplace or our next daily driver.
If you like this video and want to see more, make sure to hit that subscribe button and like this video. And to see more stories like this, visit us online at classicmotorsports.com.